All right, so we're starting the recording. Please don't make you call you out in front of all your parents, okay? All right, so real quick, we're down at the bottom. We spent about 10-15 minutes copying down our vocabulary for this new section that we're starting. I'm going to pause down here at the bottom for a moment. An attribute, we just discussed, it's a piece of information that determines the properties of the data in display. We said that sounds like womp, 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 womp. Might not really know what that means. So we clarified and we said, okay, we all have attributes. There are different skills, right? They're what make us us. Our attribute, when we're talking about statistics, it's telling us whatever it is that we're looking at. So a display, which could be a graph, it could be a chart, it could be a table. It's going to tell us what that chart, graph, table is about. Usually you can find this in the title. Okay, so the attribute is what our display is talking about. We also mentioned central tendency, mean, median, mode, and range. All right, all of these we're going to discuss in further detail tomorrow. But right now, my recommendation, make some flashcards. Go ahead and start studying that vocabulary for our quiz that is on Friday. The first three. All right, if you are at home and you need to copy this vocabulary, please remember that you can pause, rewind, go back to get the bottom. So if you've made it to this point, please copy your vocabulary so you'll have it in your binder. All right, so for the rest of us who have just finished copying our vocabulary, yes, Nathan?
Number 9, please.
Number 9, if you will please get that off of the website. Okay? Or copy it from a neighbor real quick while we talk about it. Statistics. Okay, so we're talking about statistics today. This is a special branch of mathematics that deals with collecting, organizing, and interpreting data. So you're going to have a lot of stuff given to you in charts, tables, pictures, because it's data. All right? You've done a lot with data, I'm sure, in science. In science, you collect data by doing what? Experiments. All right, you collect data by doing experiments. You study the information, but if I'm going to collect data, I've actually got to do something. So in mathematics, usually that consists of creating polls, all right, gathering information. When we're talking about data, it says data are pieces of information which are often numerical. Does it say always numerical? No. Now, you've got to admit, numbers are going to help if we're doing math, aren't they? All right? But just because your answer isn't a number doesn't mean you can't find a number to go with it. All right? So, for example, if I were to ask all the Thompson 6th grade students who their math teacher is, are they going to give me a numerical answer to that question? No, they're going to give me a teacher's name. That is definitely not a number. All right? Remember, numerical means number. All right? But I could make it numerical. I could create a table and figure out, okay, how many of those students that I asked that question had Miss Willis? So that would give me a number, wouldn't it? Yeah. How many of those students that I asked that question have Miss Donahue? I would get another number in that table. How many of those students have Miss Sawyer? So do you see how just because my question isn't numerical, we can still get numerical data? Okay? The next thing that's important is the type of question that we ask. For it to be statistics, it has to be a statistical question. In fact, in our learning target, what is our goal for today? Sadie?
I can create a
statistical
question.
Mm-hmm. So our learning target for today is I can create a statistical question. For my smarty pants, our learning target is always to learn, but we have a specific target that we're trying to reach when we leave. Okay, so again, we're wanting to create a statistical question, which this says is a question that anticipates and accounts for, if you will please underline this word, a variety of answers. What does the word variety mean? Different. All right, I'm expecting a lot of different answers. So, I'm going to ask you a question. I don't want you to answer it. I just want you to determine, is it statistical or is it not? Okay? So here's my question. Who is the principal at Thompson 6th grade center? Not. I'm hearing a lot of nots. Why is that not statistical? No?
Because that only has one answer, like whoever the principal is.
There's one answer. Even if you don't go to Thompson 6th grade center, Even if you don't know who the principal is, I think we can all agree there is one correct answer to that question. Yes? All right. What if I asked all the students who their math teacher was?
That is.
Jessica?
That would be statistical because there's 3 math teachers here.
There's more than one answer. Okay, what if I asked, so that is statistical, we all said that is statistical because there are multiple math teachers that they could have at the 6th grade center. What if I asked the people in this classroom who their math teacher was? Is that statistical, Sadie?
No. Sadie? No, because all questions are always in this classroom, and it's all in this one classroom, so we're all in one. So it's not more than one.
So, like, if I ask students in Miss Sawyer's math class who their math teacher is, like right now, obviously you're all going to have the same answer. Therefore, now it is no longer statistical, okay? So, it was the exact same question, but depending on the body of people that you're asking, it might not be statistical in some situations. Ashton?
I've got a question about statistics. It turns out how there's one class and how many people are out and how many people are in one class. That would not count because that would just be one answer. But what if there's multiple names?
So, like again, like if we ask the whole school that question?
No, just this classroom. If kids stayed out one day, another day they didn't, but more kids stayed out once.
Okay, so what could be a statistical question is how many days of school have you missed? I could ask each person that because some people might say 0, some people might say 20. Is that kind of what you're asking? Kind of? Okay. As long as there's more than one response, and you can't just, guys, this is important, you can't just ask one person. One person giving you one answer is not statistics. Okay? All right, guys, I want us to flip over onto the back of this. This is not your homework. This is still notes. Some of us seem to think it might be our homework, but it's not. All right. Guys, on the back, we're going to continue talking about statistical questions down at the bottom. So, again, we're going to state whether it's statistical or not, and then we're going to explain. Number 8, the first president of the United States. Is that statistical or not, Neely? Not. Why? Yeah, there's only one first president. All right, guys, please keep your comments appropriate. All right. Number 9. How much time do the students in my school spend on the internet each night? Statistical, yes or no, Ben?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Because it's the time. It could be like a lot.
Okay, so students spend, what was that word we underlined? A variety of time on the internet. Y'all agree with that? So I said yes because students spend a variety of time on the internet, which means I'm going to have more than one answer. All right, number 10. What is the height of the tallest water slide at Wild Rise Water Park? Julia. No, why is that not statistical? It's only one slide. One slide. Okay. There's only one slide that's the tallest, right? Okay, just checking. All right. What are the admission prices to each of the state parks in Kentucky? Statistical or no? Mark?
Yes, because it's in prices.
Yes. We'll say more than one price. Or you could say a variety of prices. Okay, number 12, we're going to change it up a little. No, we'll do it this way. All right, it says write 2 questions that are of interest to you. The first question, we want it to be statistical. The second is not going to be statistical. So give me a question that would be statistical, and then we'll try to come up with one related to it that is not. Andrew.
How many games has everyone in the school beaten in their lifetime?
Okay, so we're talking about video. Please stop talking. Okay, so how many video games has each student at Thompson 6th grade center beaten? Okay, not statistical. Ben?
How many video games has Bob beat?
Okay. How many video games
Teachers and students, excuse the
did
interruption. Boys and girls, we've got a lost gold Fitbit. If by chance you have seen it or if you're aware of where it is at, if you would please bring it to the office. Thank you.
how many video games did games did Bob beat? Very, very good. All right. What if I just went around and said, do you play video games? That would be close because there's only 2 options. Is that really going to give me a lot of data? No. Technically, there is a variety. That one could be debatable. Okay. All right. Sadie.
I would say it is this one because it just said it said not more than one, and technically it is more than one.
Yeah, it said a variety, so we want different answers. All right. So, guys, really quick, before I pass out your homework, I'm actually going to talk about it. Just because once I hand it to you, y'all start working, which means you stop listening to me. Yeah, I'm on to y'all. I got it all figured out. All right. Okay, so guys, real quick, on this first part, it just says identify the statistical question. So for number 1, A says, how many touchdowns did the quarterback throw during the last game of the season? Is that statistical?
No.
Why not? Ben?
Because it's how many he threw in that game.
Yeah, so it's just the last game. So it is how many, but it's just during the last game. So this only has one answer. All right, the one that they chose, they said B, how many touchdowns did the quarterback throw each game of the season? And they chose that because the number of touchdowns in each game can vary. Guys, do you think you can just reword this to where it applies to the other ones and see which one would reword to that?
No.
Yeah. Guys, literally, you can see which one of these answers on 2 would reword to where you can say it varies and rewrite that exact statement. Addison?
For A, for number 1, it says, can it be different because it doesn't technically say what team the quarterback's on.
But it's just it's a particular quarterback. It's a particular quarterback, and we're going to assume that they're asking about the same one every single time. Okay? Because it didn't say a quarterback. So, yes.
But it said B in front of it.
It said
It
B.
is one.
So it's a particular one. All right. The next ones, guys, the rest of this problem, this worksheet is just writing a statistical question that you can ask. So like number 4 says, a teacher recorded the test scores of her student. So what's a statistical question that I could ask about those test scores? Yes?
What did you score on your test?
What did students score on the test? All right. Am I going to get different responses? Yeah. All right. You're going to do the same thing on all of these. Read the situation that it gives you. Come up with a statistical question. All right. On the back. All right. This is where we see that word attribute. All right. So if I look at this first example, all right, it tells me that we need to list the attribute measured, the unit of measure, the likely means of measure, and the number of observations. So looking at this example, the attribute, it says the daily temperature. Why would the attribute measured here be the daily temperature? Jessica? Isn't that what this whole thing is about? This whole thing is about the daily temperature. Remember, the attribute is what it's about, okay? Unit of measure, it says, is degrees Fahrenheit. Unit of measure. So what does unit of measure mean? Yes? Yeah, it's our measurement. All right, and our measurement here, we're measuring all of these in degrees Fahrenheit. Means of measurement. It says thermometer. So what does that mean when it says means of measurement?
They use a thermometer.
All right, they use a thermometer, so means of measurement.
I think it's Miss Thompson's class.
Okay, hold on, guys. Do not move. Means of measurement, guys, this is the tool. This is the tool. The means of measurement is the tool. Number of observations. Oh, thank you.